But all right, we'll go ahead and move into nerd news. This was so hard for Adam and I, by the way, this week because it's really been kind of like a quiet news week on at least stuff that we thought would be interesting to cover on the show. So here's what we picked. But dude, Adnan, do you want to take away this first gaming piece, dude? It's I know it's something that you treasure. I don't know if treasure, but you like it.
It's creepy.
I treasure your friendship, Adnan.
Yeah, but okay, I'll call this one. So, PlayStation 4 exclusive horror title Until Dawn has received a brand new trailer and official release dates for Europe and North America. So, posting on the PlayStation blog US and Europe, Supermassive Games' Pete Samuels confirmed that Until Dawn is scheduled for release in North America on August 25th, August 26th in PAL territories, and August 28th in the UK and Ireland. So, he said, quote, This is a really exciting time for us as we enter the final stages in the run-up to release, so you can expect to see plenty more coming from Until Dawn team over the next few months. The announcement was accompanied with a brand new minute-and-a-half-long trailer for Until Dawn, which features the main cast of skill and, of course, the release date, the horror title. In addition to that, Pete Samuels revealed that Peter Stormare, who starred in Prison Break and The Big Lebowski, will be the latest high-profile actors joining the likes of Hayden Panettiere, Rami Malek, and Brett Dalton in Until Dawn. He said, Samuel said, quote, Peter Stormare? Yeah, Stormare.
Yeah, something like that.
Stormare gave some incredibly powerful performances in the motion capture studio, and you can tell from the end result in the game that we had some fun with the character. We couldn't be any happier having him in the game, and I can't wait for you to see him in full flow. Additionally to that, Until Dawn will have a pre-order bonus where you unlock a special segment between two of the 8 playable characters, Matt and Emily, and it's also available in 3 versions, the Standard Edition, the Extended Edition, and the Steelbook Edition.
Wow, Extended Edition. I wonder what that's about.
The Extended Edition is that scene, the pre-order bonus.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Dude, let me tell you, man, this game really, really looks beautiful. Like, I'm seeing some of these, and also I was very surprised at the number of, actors that are in here. I didn't think there's going to be that many actors.
Heavy Rain vibe.
Yeah, like big time, like Heavy Rain, but like not just Ellen Page and Dafoe, you know? It's it's cool, man. I like this. Brett Dalton, I do know he's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I recognized him, and I'm like, oh shit. There's another guy who was in there that I recognize. That his name escapes me right now. And then of course, like Peter Stormare or Stormer. Like when he came out, I'm like, dude. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I know you, man. Like, I've seen you before.
I know him. Awesome. He's looking for Fibonacci in fucking Prison Break. Yeah, I know him quite well. I was quite kind of surprised when I saw it in the trailer. I was like, is he just joined the cast? And obviously, Hayden Panettiere is pretty much well known for kind of performances in Heroes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Really, really stoked for this game. This is one of the ones I don't pre-order games often. Like, there's really something you have to kind of like chase me to pre-order. But this and MGS5, my current pre-orders to 2015.
I want to be able to pre-order it so badly and just say, but like since I'm limited with the number of games I can get this year, I need to be cautious on like what I'm gonna get, and so at this point I'm kind of like, well, I'll wait and see what the reviews are like, and if they're like if the general consensus from a lot of people is like this is great, this is like holy shit, then I'll pick it up like day one, like no doubt. But if it gets kind of like reviews, but it's still like pretty good in terms of reviews, then I'll probably keep it on like my list of games to like eventually buy and wait for it's like when it's on sale or something like that. But dude, I have to say, man, like off the bat, visually, like I want them to make a Friday the 13th game like this. Like, why can't this be Friday the 13th?
This is the Friday the 13th game we're looking for, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, it's except you won't see a hockey guy.
Well, he's got a clown mask.
That's good enough.
Different. I mean, I've read a lot about this game and like watched a lot of the interviews. I think I remember reading one of the interviews with Tom Heaton and kind of like how he said it takes inspiration from like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Friday the 13th, Halloween. He said like a lot of the development team has watched horror movies and kind of like understood what the approach. I just love it. I think it's like I'm so sold when this showed it at PlayStation Experience last year.
Yeah.
After like kind of rebooting the entire thing and like building it from scratch, I was sold on it. I was like, this is the horror game. And like, if you die, you die. I think he kind of gets straight to the point. Like, you have 8 playable characters, which is not like it's kind of it's very similar to Heavy Rain. That's why the kind of comparisons keep coming. But I was just sold as soon as I saw it. I was like, you know what? 8 playable characters, full on horror movie. You know, it's combining a lot of elements where I really, really, what makes me a huge horror fan from the 90s and stuff. I'm like, I'm sold, and I'm pre-ordering when I get a chance. And even Peter Stormare being put into the actual mix is really cool as well. I think he's really cool, underrated for like some of the performances he's done.
Yeah, I mean, he is a boss. He's a cool guy, good actor, and he's one of those guys that honestly I didn't know his name, but he's one of those dudes that you've seen in a ton of movies, and you're like, I know that guy, but you just don't remember his name.
Is that Michael Rooker?
Yeah, well, Michael Rooker now,
because of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead and Guardians and shit, like, and, you know, I just always remembered him as the dude from Mallrats, to be honest, like the the dad of the main girl. But yeah, dude, it looks good. I mean, to say the least, it really like just looks like a badass game, or like a horror game to end all horror games. At least in terms of like what a horror movie is at its core. Like, it's like they've gotten that and they've somehow made it a video game. You know what I mean? Like, they've gotten the spirit of a horror movie and stuck it into a game, and it looks really great.
Yeah, they hit the nail on the head completely. Yeah. It looks like, but super stoked that it's been announced. I think August is a perfect time frame for it. Mm-hmm. I don't really think there's anything much else that can compete with it in August, and I think as a new IP, I think Sony will really want it there.
Yeah.
So really, really good move from Supermassive Games for time and placement, because I think like last year's summer was fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
With like how I think was it like July to almost September, nothing came out.
Oh, dude, it was like the Sahara. It was so dry and boring and just ugh.
Exactly, and I think they've really kind of hit the spot this year that they've got that kind of like time slot now. So I think people kind of might try and invade it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so far you already have, like, I mean, dude, fucking next month we're getting Batman, and then in September, which is not summer, but that's definitely before the fall holiday season, we're getting MGS. So they're pushing for really good, like, times to release. I mean, The Witcher came out this month, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say Mad Max is competing with Metal Gear, which is kind of suicidal. But
oh, yeah, they're the fools. And the irony, too. That was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe it's both a Kojima game, and we didn't even know it. It's the same game. We just weren't aware of it. All right, cool. Well, I'm definitely going to keep a bigger eye out on Until Dawn, because I got to say, dude, you kind of got me hyped a little bit. Like, talking to you and hearing, like, you know, the passion you have behind it and all the stuff you've been reading about it. I'm like, damn, man. Like, now I kind of wish I could get it, like, day one. But, I mean, maybe I will. Who knows? We'll wait.
If you buy Assassin's Creed Syndicate instead of this game, I'm not doing a podcast with you ever again. I refuse to ever do a podcast with you ever again.
Oh, my God. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Mark those words. Episode, whatever we're on.
Mark them well, boy. I will be back for you. Oh, gosh. All right, well, we should probably... I'm getting scared. We should probably move on and you know, before the Assassin's Creed takes over. Well, anyway, for the next piece of news, this is kind of like a no-brainer news. I don't think anyone was surprised by this announcement. I was just happy they finally zeroed in on a date. But, so following up on the Resident Evil Remake Remaster that has sold more than 1 million copies... Capcom announced earlier this week that a remastered version of Resident Evil 0 is going to be launching in early 2016 for PC, PlayStation 3, PS4, 360, and Xbox One. And they've said is what did they say? No real details. I'm assuming it's going to be just like RE1 in terms of, you know, like 1080p resolution on the current gen consoles. And was it 60 frames? I don't think so, right? Was the remaster? I think the character animations were, but the backgrounds weren't.
I mean, you can't really render it completely to 60 frames per second because it's an old game.
Yeah,
I don't think it's possible to do that.
And plus, the pre-rendered, I think, backgrounds fucked it up too. I think it was like, I don't know, it might have been a solid 30, I can't remember. But I'm sure Resident Evil 0 will probably be, I mean, it'd be a shame if it wasn't. It'll probably be around there, maybe better if they've, like, figured stuff out. But they're getting the same. The original development team are working on it, so that's really cool. They even got the game's director, Koji Oda, to come in and work on it. So always a cool thing when they get the original team to come in for like any remaster, because you have the original director there to help you out and point things out. I'm excited. I think it's very smart that Capcom's releasing it early 2016 as opposed to the fall. Because I think that was one of the reasons why the remaster has sold so well. Because there's like nothing out in January, and it's right after the holiday season. Maybe people have finished up the games they were playing back in November, and then bam, you release this awesome HD remaster that has some really cool stuff in it. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was a nice blast from the past, and yeah, damn, dude, I look very much forward to the RE0, even though I think Resident Evil 0 is an inferior game to the remaster. The remake.
Inferior, yes, but I think I like the idea that it's an older game of sorts. That it's not Devil May Cry 4 being remastered.
Yeah.
I just thought it's so fucking like I mean, Capcom announced I think earlier this month that the key that the future to their business now is remasters or something, or the key is the future to the business like system or something like that. So, this will be big news. I think that still there'll be a Resident Evil game announced at E3 this year.
Yeah.
I think Capcom's going to take the stage and announce it. I think big news would be if it was a PlayStation exclusive, but we'll touch on that in a few weeks' time. But in terms of this actual remaster, it makes a lot of sense. I think they were even shocked at the fact that Resident Evil HD sold so many copies.
Yeah. They didn't think... I think they had no confidence in that.
Do you know what? That's the funny part about it, though, is that Capcom, who are really shit with business plans, were kind of shocked that this took off. Resident Evil's remaster. Mm-hmm. Like, it actually sold so many copies, and they were like, holy shit, we sold so many copies. And like, their other projects, like, kind of swamp. And then they're like, oh no, you know what, remasters is going to be the future. Let's remaster everything is going to get remastered. I put you money on it. Chris Redfield's punching in Resident Evil 5 will be remastered in the Xbox One version where you can connect it. Or like Project Morpheus on PlayStation.
Punch
exactly.
The rock.
And when you look at your arm with Project Morpheus on, you just see Chris Redfield's biceps. But I never really got around to playing this game and not heard brilliant things about it, but yeah, I'm still very interested in it and I will pick it up though. This is an opportunity to pick up. I think it's one of the greater instances where they've done a remaster correctly.
Yeah. What I find really interesting about this release, dude, is that this was the last Resident Evil game in the main series that was done in the classic style of Resident Evil. So in other words, this was the last one they released that had third person, like like the fixed camera angles and the tank controls and things like that. And then RE4 came out and that took the world by storm. And that's there's people now that have played RE4 but have never played RE0 or any of these other things. And a big part of it was it was a Nintendo exclusive. This is the first time it's coming out on a non-Nintendo console. So I think that's cool. I'm going to be very curious to see what people think about it. I remember I personally enjoyed it when I played it when I was younger, back in high school. But then, years later, I played it again. I was doing like a run through of the whole series, and I played it again, and I was kind of like, it's not a bad game, but it's not that good either. Yeah, like you play it and you're like, man, I don't regret spending I think $20 for this game, which is probably what it's going to end up costing the remaster. I think that's a fair price. $20 for this game. I don't think it has as much replayability as RE1 though, since you only have one story mission, and then you kind of just play it and that's it. But yeah, I'd be very curious to see, since you've never played it. I'd be very curious if you pick it up, what you think of it.
Yeah, definitely. I look forward to it.
You should get. I think it's on sale, dude, or it was. But if it's ever on a flash sale, you should totally pick up the
HD.
HD remaster. Yeah,
Yeah.
of the remake, dude. It was a damn good remaster. There's some issues with it, but for the most part, it was really solidly done.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, that'll be the end of our gaming news. We'll go ahead and move on to what we got for the movie stuff. This is kind of a cool little thing. Do you wanna take this first piece, dude, of movie news, or do you want me to take it?
I will. You can take it.
Take it? Okay. So this was something I thought was really funny. They took this picture. So they've been making the movie Independence Day 2, and we really have no idea what the hell has been going on with it. We don't really know what they're working on with it, who's going to be in it, or anything like that. And, dude, they showed a picture, and it's Jeff Goldblum himself in costume. Independence Day 20 years later. Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, dude, seeing him again, wearing the glasses from the first movie, and just being fully in, I mean, we see very little of it, but what we see of the costume, I gotta say, man, I don't know if I'm gonna go see it or not. I've always thought Independence Day was like the best disaster day movie ever made, and I felt like all the other ones that came after that haven't really come close to. For the record, I hate disaster day movies. My wife loves them. I hate them. But the one,
disaster movies.
Yeah, I hate them. I think they're always the same fucking crap.
Tacky.
Yeah, but she likes them, and whatever. I mean, I'm sure she looks at the shit I like, and she's like, "Why do you like that?" But but damn, dude, this is the sequel to my favorite disaster day movie. So I don't know if I'm gonna go see it in theaters. I haven't, jury's out on that, but I'm sure as hell have to see this at one point. But yeah, the movie's actually going to be released almost 20 years after the original movie. Let me actually, while I'm talking, I'll look it up to see how close it is, because damn. But I don't know. To be honest, I don't know what they're doing.
Independence Day opened on July 3rd, 1996. By the way.
Oh, it's July 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay, so July 3rd. Holy shit, it is really close, dude. July 3rd it opened, and Independence Day 2 is coming out. Yeah, June 24th. Wow. Yeah, yeah, year-wise, it's 20 years later, but that's really close to it. I don't know. I think I haven't been keeping up with it. I don't think they're making it a two-part movie anymore. I think that was the original idea, was to make it two-parter, and then they just said, nah, screw it. Which I think is a better idea, which, you and I were talking about how we're kind of tired of two-parters and all the things they do about that.
Fuck the two-parters. It's like, do you always find if they make a disaster movie that's two-parters? Because it is a disaster movie.
Yeah, it's like, shit. But dude, it's pretty cool. I mean, they've essentially gotten most of the surviving cast members from the first movie to come back. I think the only person that's not coming back is Will Smith.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the only one. They've got Jeff Goldblum's coming back, Bill Pullman, Vivica Fox. Yeah, they're all coming back. The only one that's not is Will Smith, who I think they talked to him about it, and they're like, "Hey, man, do you want to do it?" And he's like, "Nah." Like, but then he was like, "Wait a minute, maybe I will." And then he was like, "Nah." Like, he looked at all the money he's making. He's like, I don't need to do this. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I would be very curious to see what happened 20 years later. It's one of those event sequels, where like literally 20 years has passed, and it makes me feel like an old man when like, I'm gonna be. Ugh, God, I'm going to be 30 in a handful of years, so this is going to make me feel like a fucking old man, where I'm like, I was 9 years old when the first one came out, and now I'm going to be 29 when the second one comes out. Ugh. But, yeah, dude, we'll see. It was definitely one of those, like, 90s big, like, blockbuster movies of the 90s, and it took the world by storm. I'd be curious to see what people think or how it does now, because Roland Emmerich, who's directing it, he kind of like hasn't really changed his directing style if you kind of see his more recent movies. But what's your take on this, dude?
I'm not interested. I dislike disaster movies. Ironically, I watched The Walking Dead, which is a disaster TV show, but they're so fucking cliche. They really are just such a cliche thing. And why is there a sequel to Independence Day called Independence Day 2? Isn't it quite ironic that they're doing that?
Yeah, I know. It's. I mean, dude, I'd be lying if I said, oh, this is gonna be like the greatest thing ever. Like, this is gonna like knock it out of the ballpark.
I will only watch it if someone goes and watches it in cinema and they say that Jeff Goldblum turns up at one point. It's like, life will find a way.
Like a crossover with Jurassic Park.
The Jurassic Park music just starts when the background credits roll.
Oh man,
I would watch it then, but I'm not too interested in Independence Day 2. I think it's quite cool that the year difference of when the two films come out, and that the fact that a lot of the cast are reuniting. But other than that, I'm really, really sincerely not interested in it at all. It's just like everywhere. It's like, we all want Independence Day 2, said no one ever. Well, except for Becca maybe, but that's a different case for itself.
I don't even think she said that. I think she was just like, oh, hey, look. I mean, she liked 2012. I remember that. She liked...
God.
Dude, I mean, she liked all of those things.
Did she like World War Z?
No, I think she was a little bit like meh with it. She was kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Jesus Christ, that's a weird one.
I think it's literally any Roland Emmerich movie, because she liked what's it called, The Day After Tomorrow. He's done all these fucking movies, man. Like all these, like the only movie that he did that wasn't really a disaster day was The Patriot, which, dude, no joke, that movie was badass actually. With Mel Gibson, I mean, like, that was a badass movie.
His chronologically speaking, these are when you search Ronald Emmerich on Google, these are the few films that come up. First one, Independence Day, White House Down, The Day After Tomorrow, Stargate, Godzilla, 10,000 BC, ID Forever Part 1, The Patriot, 2012, Anonymous. Yeah, he has a hard-on for disaster day movies.
Dude,
he even did Eight-Legged Freaks, which is a classic.
He produced that one, though.
Oh, he produced that? No, he's a director. Oh, no, he produced that, yeah.
He produced it, yeah. I mean, dude,
like how they actually made it pop up in that.
Yeah, he loves it, so... I hope it's more Patriot and Independence Day 1 than White House Down, or,
White House Down, or Eight-Legged Freaks. That poster is horrific.
Yeah, dude, I remember, it's kind of like an old 1930s horror movie type thing.
It looks like an internet meme, with a guy's face in the corner. There's the picture of it, the top from the producers of Independence Day and Godzilla.
That's ridiculous.
Tagline, let the squashing begin.
I was about to say that, let the squashing begin. But yeah, so I think that's Independence Day for you. We'll see. I don't know. I have nothing else to say. We'll see.
Is that David Arquette?
Yeah, dude, that's David Arquette.
That is David Arquette. I was wondering why he looked for fucking Detective Dewey.
Dude, do you want me to take this next one, or do you want to take it?
You can take it.
Okay. So yeah, this last piece of news we have, guys, to wrap everything up. So there's been a lot of controversy over, and this is like a really hot topic, film politics and whatnot. But so there's been this big topic about Josh Trank, who is the director of the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, among other films. And supposedly, this is all rumors. This is not. They've never said this is a truth or anything like that. But there's been rumors that he hasn't been the most approachable director, and that he's been a little bit not sure of what he's doing. Some people have even gone as far as to accuse him of substance abuse and having destroyed the set of the movie at one point. And all. I don't know if there's any claims to these rumors. That's just what people have been saying. But so the rumor, it's been fever pitch over this guy because he recently lost the gig at doing the Star Wars movie that comes out in 2018. And supposedly, for the Fantastic Four reshoots, a rumor spread that Fox hired Matthew Vaughn, who had directed X-Men First Class for them, to be the director of the reshoots for Fantastic Four, so that things can kind of come together a lot better. Well, supposedly, Trank, supposedly this rumor it never even happened. They're not sure how it spread because Josh Trank revealed on his Twitter. He said, while Matthew Vaughn has been very supportive, he's never been to our set. There's only been one director of Fantastic Four, the 2015, and that's me. He even went on to say that he's never even met Vaughn in person. A supporting actor in the movie, Tim Blake Nelson, was also recently quoted as saying that Trank was responsible for filming all the reshoots. He said they're written by Simon Kinberg and they're being directed by Josh. And these two very strong-willed, opinionated people. And these are two very strong-willed, opinionated people. So I can't imagine there's going to be some wild departure from what they had in mind when they first set out to collaborate. With that in mind, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, there's been I almost feel sorry now at this point for Fantastic Four and for anyone involved in it, because from day one, people did not like that movie. And me being one of them. I remember Adam and I, we've been talking about this movie for years now on various outlets. And we've been talking about how, we don't think the movie's gonna, it doesn't look good. We were talking about how we don't really get it. Like, the casting choices seemed off. And then, like, the CGI thing looks fucking ridiculous. And the costumes are off. But now, like, we find out, well, guess what? You think the movie's bad? All the stuff you're going to see on screen? Well, guess what? People have been bitching about this movie, behind the scenes, because apparently this is going wrong, that's going wrong. I don't know, dude. I feel like I almost feel sorry for them, but at the same time, I can't really make heads or tails of everything. All I know is that when there's smoke, there's fire. And Trank has been kind of like, I don't know, there's been some weird shit going on around him, so I think maybe there's some half-truths to these rumors, because that's usually how, it plays out. But dude, I know you're not a huge fan of this movie as much as I am. Like, I think we can both agree on that.
It's got the game headline show stamp of approval and failure already written over it before you even watched it.
Yeah, we're kind of I mean,
that hint of optimism we ever have in anything is literally being sapped out before the get-go.
I mean, I'm being honest when I say this, and I'm not. I don't mean to be disrespectful to the people who worked on the movie, but honestly, man, I would watch that movie. The only way I'd watch it is if it went on Netflix, and I had a lot of alcohol, and I could get drunk and watch it. No, I'm serious. If I could order a pizza, get drunk off my ass, and watch that movie with some people, and just kind of like poke fun at it, but also watch it, I would watch it in that condition. I would not go to the movies to see it or rent it or anything like that.
It looks like a House of Cards rejects reunion. Like, when I watched the trailer, I was like, "Why is Pete Russo in there, like, talking to Kate Mara?" I was like, "Why is the House of Cards characters left, right, and center in this?"
Dude, that Kate Mara though.
Oh yeah, she's very, very, very pretty lady.
Yeah, she's very, very talented too.
Yeah. I mean, rumors are rumors. There's never kind of we're trying to kind of figure out what happened with the Kojima Konami situation. We'll never know until someone kind of comes out and says something. Because as soon as one party comes out, the other one comes out to defend themselves. Mm-hmm. So in this case, we'll never know the kind of truth behind it. I think this is really going to bomb this movie. I just think that maybe there might even be a point where they might sell the Fantastic Four rights. I think Marvel might acquire it. Mm-hmm. I think if this film really does, honestly, if this film bombs really badly, I think they'll reconsider about keeping the rights to the franchise. I think they might just sell it off to Marvel.
I mean, I would hope they do.
Oh yeah, I think we all want it to go into the cinematic universe. I think that's the only way it can have its kind of saving grace.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, dude. It's like one of those things where you don't. I mean, I'm at a point where I get it. They're gonna probably keep what's this one called? They're gonna probably keep X-Men for as long as they can, because that movie is just printing money for them. It's doing so well. But then when it comes to anything else, Fantastic Four, anything like that, it's just not I don't know, it just doesn't look good. It looks weird. And I mean, even their previous attempt, the one with you know, what was her name? Jessica Alba and all those other people. Like, even that was kind of like there was something off about it that they never quite got. You know, you can't always strike gold twice. I mean, what I find very interesting is they decided, okay, let's do this. Let's make this movie rather than Daredevil. So they thought we have a better shot at making a decent Fantastic Four movie than making a Daredevil movie. But I don't know, man. I really feel the only reason they made this Fantastic Four movie was just to keep the rights so they can go back and start thinking things. That's the only reason I think they did it.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe they'll make money. They're like, well, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe we'll make some money. Maybe people will like it. You know, and then we can do the sequels and, you know, all that other crap they end up doing. But I think at the end of the day, it's just like a contractually... They were like contractually obligated, like, you know, or else Disney would get it back and then absorb it into their universe and make it better, you know. But as fate would have it, they made the movie. I do hope it. I mean, I'm not gonna go see it. I'm not supporting it. It's funny. Disney has like this little like, man, the mouse like takes out its fucking claws, dude. Because Disney has this like tactic that a lot of people have been noticing that whenever a company that's releasing a movie that they don't own the rights to, they always discontinue the comic right before the movie comes out, almost to get it out of people's minds the best they can. You know.
I agree with them. They're very fierce in competition, Marvel and Disney. Yeah. I understand perfectly. They are very strategic business people. I think that's why they kind of like... they wouldn't care if Batman v Superman came out at the same time as Avengers Civil War, because Civil War would trounce it.
Yeah, no, easily.
To them, to them it wouldn't really give a shit. They'd probably be more likely to put it on the date that comes out that month, to just trounce it from the box office. I think they can do that. And yeah, Disney would make a lot of sense of discontinuing, because what's the point of supporting obviously the rights to the comic series, but there's no point in supporting it when a movie's coming up and that can kind of link up to the hype. And when you want to kind of sink the competition, you can do that. It's funny how the bottom of the poster for the Fantastic Four says, from the studio that brought you X-Men Days of Future Past. Not the same quality, mind you. But funny how they put that comment at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah, just to kind of like... I mean, because it's technically true, you know, I mean, they are...
Technically.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the writer, Simon Kinberg, is there, and I think there might be some producers, because, you know, they've tried to get this team together to help them coordinate all their things. But, you know, Bryan Singer, I mean, dude, even X-Men got bad when you switch, you know, development. I mean, look at X-Men Origins Wolverine, and look at fucking all these other... yeah, and X-Men 3 and shit. Like, those movies were, you know, goddamn dog shit. And it was because they didn't have the right people behind it.
Yeah.
But then,
you don't like Hank McCoy as Secretary of State Affairs?
No, I don't. Dude,
kind of where it was.
I like Kelsey Grammer as Hank. He was great, but fucking that movie is just a mess, man. And then what is it? But then, you know, Bryan Singer comes out and he kind of gets it all together. But, you know, these Trank rumors, I mean, it just sounds like he wasn't really made to work in that environment. Not to say the man's not competent, but maybe, you know, he just wasn't made for that particular film. Even though he is used to working on special effects. I don't know, maybe the Fox mandates just didn't work well on him. But, you know, dude, eventually, I mean, I'm not seeing this, but eventually I'll watch it drunk, and I'll tell you what I think about that. You know, I mean, maybe we could drunk watch it together on the interwebs. I don't know.
On the interwebs.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
I agree with you. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I think we're just like, ugh.